This is my face when I get to see you guys. That's my face, everybody. I actually don't know what particular Neo75 this is. Oh no, this is a CU. Brass bottom? I think this is a brass bottom one. Damn, this is like brand new. Ooh, maybe I should change the title. CU. I'm pretty positive this is a brass. We're using oak switches, yeah. They're aiming for a creamy sound profile, and I think the best bet for us to go for a creamy sound profile would be to use the foam, not the PE foam, but I think the foam in between the plate and the PCB. Really, you guys think PE foam? I think the PE foam will be more marbly. I kind of struggle with this sometimes. I assume we should just use the foam, and that'll get us kind of to our desired sound signature. Unless we do use the PE foam. I'm curious. We can play around with it. And then there's all 3 plates. We're definitely using a plastic plate for this. We're not using FR4. FR4 would be too plasticky for this. I think we use this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice board to kind of look over this if you guys want to look at this one more time. This would be kind of a fun revisit stream as well, since this is my first client build for the CU. It is a really pretty side profile still. I would personally say not as pretty as the new series, like the Neo 60 and 65 CU, but it has its own kind of shape, which kind of makes it a bit futuristic. I kind of feel like that's the vibe of this board. It has a bit more of a futuristic feel. I do prefer the other bottom of the new CUs, but I prefer the foot placement of this. Like, this is the far superior foot placement. But again, a very cool side profile, I think. Yeah, it does kind of look aerodynamic. I also like the badge that they chose for this. Like, believe it or not, the ripple kind of makes it look cool. And not for nothing, I also think this is kind of neat on the inside here too. I think the smile of the weight is kind of fun. But yeah, I'm thinking we use just the mid-plate foam. I think if we go PE foam, it's going to be too loud and too marbly and kind of lose that creamy sound profile. Although it is hot swap, so if we end up really wanting to add the PE foam, we can make that happen. Tape mod? We could also do a tape mod. I'm so conflicted with tape mods. I feel like a tape mod literally sounds like a tape mod. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but like once you've tried one tape, like a tape mod on one board, I sort of feel like you just know what it's gonna sound like. It's quite predictable, though I think it does add to that creamy sound profile. The tape mod? I feel like every time I hear a board of tape mod, they all sound the same. Yeah, and again, like there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like it's just one of those mods where it's cool for one single board if you have a collection of boards. Obviously, if you like the sound profile, don't let me stop you. But it is a rather predictable sound. And maybe that's a good thing, actually. Maybe knowing that a mod is going to be predictable is a really good thing. Maybe it's not as bad as it kind of comes off when we speak as predictable. When you really think about it from that perspective, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I want to use the PE, but I have a feeling I want to see what it sounds like. Again, the goal of the client, they said, was creamy sounding. I feel like most people would describe PE foam as marbly sounding. So I'm going to make the assumption that we should probably do less foam today. Yeah, like this is a bit loud, so maybe we do with the PE. I think the PE did accentuate some of the more, okay, maybe we do go with PE for this. I actually do think it might sound better with that. Marbly is all foam. I think it maybe, here's the thing, right? The way we describe sounds can be a little bit different sometimes, so maybe we're kind of just like all on different pages when it comes to descriptions. Creamy has changed in the hobby? I think so. I think that's kind of where we're at. The original switches we were supposed to use for these were ice kachangs, but ice kachangs are really loud. So I actually had them ordered, believe it or not. So I was just going to stick with what the client wanted, but unfortunately they're just like lost in transit. Like I still don't have them. So I tried to offer the client an alternative, and I was doing some testing, and I was like, oh, these are a little deeper sounding and kind of like more in line with what they wanted. So I think we just stick with these. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's put these gaskets on over here. Let's figure this out. Oh, because there's a switch here. That would make sense. Yep, I got you, Dream. Thanks for pointing that out. I'm gonna put the bottom foam in. Thankfully, this is extremely easy to build. This is so pretty with this. What mouse am I using? The OP1 W4K. I forget where the W is in this. Excellent though. I've been really enjoying this mouse. This does sound sort of creamy. I might want to change the spacebar though. I don't love this switch as a spacebar, so I'm going to change that right now to a milky yellow. It may need some more, like a thicker piece of foam underneath instead of the thin one. Okay, I love the alphas. I need to find a better spacebar for this, and I want to put the foam in between the spacebar. I feel like inks are kind of plasticky though, so let me just try this, and I might try an HMX instead. Actually, no, this kind of suits the board. I'm gonna lube the stabs a bit more here. Okay, you know what? I kind of like the ink on this. Damn, it's actually a really cool set to go with this board. It does look kind of nice. Huh. The only thing I can think of is we have to put a thicker piece of foam on the bottom, which I'm kind of interested in doing. I do think we should go with a thicker piece, because this particular piece, the one that Neo provides, is really thin. And I think we can get something in here a bit thicker. Let's try this amount of polyfill and then see where it goes. Oh, let's get rid of this too. This is doing nothing for us here. I think this is more leaning to like creamy. Yeah, I can sort of hear it a little bit. It has an air of lightness to it now. I still want to play around with the spacebar switch ever so slightly, but the alphas are perfect now. What else can I try? I kind of want to try an HMX switch or something. Let me see. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, you know what? This might be a really good idea to try too. It's a Gazoo switch. These can be kind of deeper sounding, and that's kind of what I want to aim for here. And then we'll try an HMX. Oh no, this is a silent. I thought it was a tactile Gazoo switch because I didn't even click it. W1 Diamond might be sick for this too. I think the ink might have been the best choice. I like the way this sounds more, but I think I can already tell I think the ink might be the better choice for the client. Let's try an HMX TT Red switch. Yeah, let's try this guy here because they sent over a TT Red. Okay, yeah, let's try this. I think the ink still is the best. Like, this sounds really good, but I think the ink resembled the alphas really well. So I think maybe we just stick with that for the time being. I also, like, I might give the client a whole bunch of different switches to pick from, but I think the ink for me, I don't know why the tonality of the ink just suited the rest of the board more. Just kind of feels more natural in this. The alphas are so loud, but I also quite love it. They will certainly love this. Yeah, it has like a creamy sound signature, sort of. Like, it's not as, I know some people love that whole like really deep, like thuddy kind of sound, but I also don't know if the Neo can get to that without having to do a whole bunch of other mods. There is one other mod I can potentially do, but I'd have to order a specific type of PE sheet, or not a PE sheet, it's like a packing foam sheet. I'd have to like order that. So bye everyone, and you guys have a good night. Love you guys. Bye-bye.